how significant is the 49ers schedule advantage this week? 48 hours since they played, between when they played. Well, not really 48, I guess, from when they played. A little more around from when they played to when Dallas played.
Yeah.
Which means Kyle's had time to, probably start preparing for the Bucs and the Niners.
He said that on Monday morning.
They did a little prep for him, and then he was just going to watch the game like a fan, which
he said they had split it up. They had split it up for 2 days, and then everyone was going to go home, watch the game, which who knows, they probably stayed. Pretty clear, what do you say, by early second quarter, like, I think we can focus it up, guys.
Start on the Cowboys tape.
To me, it's less about the preparation and more about they have been rehabbing, ice baths, getting their lift on. Like, their players have just been easing into a normal week. You typically play games 7 days. They get 8 days here, so it's not like some crazy throwing you off, but that extra day is really big at this time of the year. And the Cowboys, there is no excuse that you can't win the Super Bowl playing in the Monday night game. The Rams did it, but they played at home last year, right? So then the following week, they had to travel to Tampa, and they ended up winning that crazy game that Brady almost came back. I think it is probably a lot more difficult to make a Super Bowl run when you play on Monday Night Football as the road team. And think about it. They went east, then they fly back to Dallas. They get there back in the middle of the night. Players get the day off. Coaches got to be spent. You got to start grinding on the Niners, who haven't lost in fucking since October. And your players show up tomorrow. They just played 24 hours. But that, to me, is the energy level of your coaches who need to lock in because they're coming off their fantastic. Like, I give the Cowboys coaches credit. They dominated that game. But now you got to re-energize yourself. And the players kind of got to be ready to go by tomorrow because you're flying out on Saturday.
Dallas's last home game was the Christmas weekend Eagles game against Gardner Minshew. So this is 4 straight road games for them.
Because they played on the road to Washington at the end of the season.
And they played Tennessee on the road also. And they played Jacksonville on the road before that Eagles game. You remember the Jacksonville game was actually a big, because that was the Fox.
You're right. They were the last Thursday night game. That game they kind of barely squeaked out against Josh Dobbs.
So they've played 4. This will be 5 of 6 on the road for them and 4 straight on the road for them this week.
They've been traveling a lot.
I mean, they looked pretty fresh Monday, but this is a different animal. Was anybody cramping? I mean, I don't think the temps were.
Jason
crazy.
Peters left the game, and he didn't come. He is 40 years old, left tackle.
Yeah. He did one of these. He tapped his helmet on the way out, too. He tapped his helmet. He's like, all right, I'm done. But I think the fact that you're basically coast-to-coast travel from Tampa back home to the Bay, right, on a short week.
Yeah. I would say it's a massive disadvantage for the road team. And not like it's an advantage for the Niners that they don't even have to worry about it. Like, they just get to play their game. So to me, they are just stay equal, and the Cowboys get, dinged. Like, it's just very, very difficult from a scheme standpoint, from a coaching standpoint, from a
how about just a rest standpoint, just a fundamental rest standpoint. That game was really physical. You texted me Monday night when that game started. You're like, these teams are fucking hitting.
Didn't you think that? Like, just the first couple series, it was like, God damn, people are getting cracked. So it would be listen, if the Cowboys win this game, it's an incredible accomplishment. Short week, on the road, big underdog. So I'm going to say this all week long. The Niners have all the pressure on them to win this bad boy. Just like the Cowboys did last year. I think the pendulum is just complete opposite from last year's game.